Hello everyone and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe. Today I'll be going over the best teams for each faction in the game. So whether that's for GDA Ops or for Arena, this will give you the guide on are the best teams and which are the best heroes for each of the four factions in the game. So if this does help you and you do enjoy the video, then please leave a like on the video and subscribe. The support in the previous videos has been amazing, so thank you so much for that. And yeah, more videos coming soon. So yeah, for the four factions in the game, there are four factions: GDA, from Worlds Beyond, Earth's Defenders, and Criminals. So yeah, four factions in the game, and these range with different heroes and different types of heroes, and you will often need probably a decent team, or at least some good high level heroes from each faction to play the game at a high level. Whether this is for example, Cecil's Nightmares, which there isn't any on just now, but we do usually have, especially over the weekend, a Cecil's Nightmare where you would basically only can use heroes from one faction for that to basically gain the rewards. Otherwise, Multiverse Arena, currently we do have one limited to the Worlds Beyond faction. So this is basically why it's good to have a team basically for each faction, as it allows you to gain more rewards and have a higher variety of heroes to level up. So without further ado, let's get into it. Firstly, I will start with the worst faction, I would say, in the game, and that is the GDA faction. This faction has some strong heroes, but compared to what the other factions offer, definitely is probably the weakest one. That's not to say you shouldn't build heroes for it, but just keep in mind, if you're looking, if you're starting out new to the game, you might be wanting to focus more on like a solid 5 heroes for your main team before building up, the other factions. But for the GDA, there are some good heroes to note, whether you are building it for a faction team or just in general. Probably the best hero to invest in would be my highest GDA character here, which is Shapesmith. Shapesmith is very good. He definitely was very broken previously, and a lot of people do have him built already because of that. He is still very good though. They did nerf him in the last patch, I believe, but he is still very strong. So yeah, basically main thing is this ability here, Pain and Gain. So if you are building him, then definitely build this skill up, because it basically, once his health goes below 30%, he absorbs incoming damage and then heals himself and his allies. So he basically takes less damage and heals because of that. So he's very difficult to kill, and his main ability displaces enemies and even your team a little bit, but then with this ability here, he then confuses the enemies, which completely disrupts them. And so yeah, I would definitely say for GDA teams, Shapesmith is a definite build. The next character I would say for the GDA faction that is very strong is Donald. He was a pretty new addition to the game, and he is very strong. He's quite hard to acquire and build up quite highly to a higher level. He has been available more recently in the limited time shops, but Donald is very strong, mainly because of this ability here, where he's a ranged character, so if you place him at the back of your team, whereas you want Shapesmith at the front, if you place Donald at the back of the team, he basically, it says here, after each fire burst, which is his main attack, Donald gains a 2.5% critical chance boost up to 100%. So if he is stunned, he does lose this, and if you level this up, he can lose even less of this. But he basically, if he is stunned, he does lose this critical chance boost. But if he isn't stunned, if he's managed to stay at the back of the team and not get stunned, he can get up to 100% critical chance boost, which means he would basically be doing critical hits for every single attack. He is also just very good. You know, he boosts the team defense if he's playing with a leader. His main ability does missile damage, which if you level it up does quite a lot of damage. And even when he dies, he does have like a self-destruct, which isn't very strong, probably because he has to die to use it, which is unfortunate. But if you do level up, it does do a good chunk of damage. But the main thing is just having it at the back of your team. He can kind of shred enemy teams if he's left alone. So Donald would definitely be the next character to build. Otherwise, the heroes are still pretty good, but not as good as other factions. The next one I would say definitely would be to build would be the Immortal and Robot. They're probably on the same level, I would say. The Immortal is a tank, so he could go up front with Shapesmith. He is very strong. The only thing is he has got the human tag, so if you are fighting against an Anissa, then he'll die very, very quickly. But otherwise he's very strong. He's got an immunity shield, so once he reaches 9 HP, he becomes immune to damage. If you level up this ability here, he receives 10% of all the healing whenever any of his allies are healed. And if you get to level 10, this ability is always active. So, for example, with Robot, if he's healing a team, the healing that is applied to the allies also is applied to the Immortal, so he can get healed a lot easier. He can survive a lot longer with the immunity, and his main ability, where he flies out of the battle and comes crashing down and stuns the enemies, is very good because it stuns them, and also because he leaves the battlefield, he can kind of remove aggro from him for a bit. So definitely I would say Immortal is strong, and Robot is also very good. Robot is fantastic if you are new to the game, or if you've just started the game. Even if you've played it for a decent amount of time, he is very good. He's basically probably the best just base healer in the game still, I would say. Obviously a lot of new heroes have been released since, but I would say he is still very, very good. So I would say definitely Robot on your team, and he pairs nicely with Shapesmith to basically boost the healing in the team. So yeah, those top 4 that I have at least here, I would probably say. So otherwise, there are a few other options. Monster Girl, I don't think is very good at all. I have a decently built, but that was mainly before a lot of the new heroes came out. And compared to the other tanks, she is pretty useless. So I would build her maybe for, like, you know, the case files, but otherwise I wouldn't recommend building her. Cecil is pretty good. He does see some use in the ranks, in the multiverse arena, but he does have his flaws. He's pretty good, and especially if some of his abilities past level 10. I do know, as you can see here, does like 1,000 damage and removes debuffs and stuff, and can obviously summon the Reanimen. So Cecil could be another candidate. Rexplode is pretty decent for a rare hero, and I know a lot of fans have him built up. It's good to have him for the case file. That's why I have him built up. But otherwise, I'd probably say avoid Shrinking Ray. She can be good to avoid stuns, but she just does die quickly. And the new Robot Life Pod is pretty good. I'm just not a big fan of him, so I'd probably say otherwise Bulletproof is quite strong, especially if you can build him with gear and with tokens and artifacts and things like this that boost his critical chance, because this ability here, after performing 6 critical strikes, he becomes he boosts his attack, and he becomes immune. And at high levels, I have seen some high level bulletproofs with very high critical chance basically activating this over and over and over again, and being pretty much immune to all damage throughout the entire fight. So he can be very difficult to deal with unless you're facing up against, for example, a Conquest who can break the shield. So that's who I would probably say would be in the GDA team. Again, not the strongest heroes, but some good ones in there. So definitely Shapesmith, Immortal. You could even put Shapesmith in the middle, depending on which one you have, probably a higher level. Donald is definitely there, and Robot, I would say, is definitely there. And then it's obviously up to you. Personally, for me, this would be my GDA lineup as of now. In terms of the other characters, I probably wouldn't bother with any of them. But yeah, that would be my GDA team that I would recommend to build. Next up is Earth's Defenders. I would probably say this is the second best faction in the game because it has a lot of strong heroes. Starting off which probably we'll just look at the best ones straight away, and that I would probably say is between a couple or a few of them. Firstly, to note, and one of the easiest to build in the game, so if you are starting off the game or you just joined the game, then it would be very easy to build, and that is Omni-Man. Omni-Man does a lot of damage and is basically just a consistent damage dealer no matter where he is or who's he fighting against and things like this. Definitely, if you can get his skills leveled up to above 10, especially this one here, when he's fighting against Viltrumites, increases his critical chance by 50%, and then this one here, after he performs critical hits, he does a big critical hit, which is good, but also he reduces his main ability cooldown by 19%, and you can get this all the way up to 20%. And then obviously if you power up the main ability to do extra damage, he can basically be farming his main ability over and over and over again, which is very, very strong. And you'll be fighting against, as you see here, for the humans for the life leech, and then the critical chance of the Viltrumites. Humans and Viltrumites are definitely the two most common factions in the game. So Omni-Man is an easy build because he's in pretty much every shop, and he's very, very strong. So I would definitely say he's a good one to have in your Earth's Defenders team. Next up, I would definitely say would be Blue Suit Invincible. He is a bit harder to get as he's not in the main recruitment shop, but he is very, very strong. His only downside is that he has got the human tag against Anissa. He does die quite quickly, just because Anissa is probably the best hero in the game. But his main ability does a huge amount of damage, and also if you get it to level 15 seconds cooldown is incredibly fast. He's just all around very strong. He does very good damage against low HP enemies. You want to pair him ideally with somebody that provides shields, and I'll get onto that in a second. But yeah, he's a very, very strong DPS, so I would definitely recommend Blue Suit Invincible. Next up, I would say, who was also very good, but again quite difficult to obtain, is the Atom Eve Armored. She is the only Earth's Defender tank. So if you're looking to build an overall team, she would definitely be the best, and I guess currently only option for your defender, not tank, defender. Again, she has the human tag, so she can die quite quickly if there's an Anissa on the enemy team, but she does very good damage for a defender. She has quite good survivability with this option where if she drops to 1 HP, she restores health and deals a large amount of damage. This can often whiff and miss the enemy team, but it is still strong, and especially if you get it all the way up to 50%, level 15, she restores 50% of her maximum HP when she gets to 1 HP basically. So she can go all the way back up to 1 HP and deal a huge amount of damage to anyone in front of her. This ability here as well is incredibly strong, because it basically, I think at level 15, yeah, it can pull in 5 enemies, so it can pull in the entire enemy team and deal damage to them, gains a shield from it, and it's only 20-second cooldown. So again, this is almost like a main ability. All of her abilities are pretty good. This one is good against ranged enemies. So I would say if you're looking to build a strong team, if you can, then Atom Eve Armored, which should definitely be the defender and in the team regardless. Otherwise, I would say that's probably 3 you definitely would want. Otherwise, the others are still all very good. Normal or OG Invincible is very strong, but I would say that he isn't as good, I guess, as he used to be. He used to be definitely one of the top DPS in the game. It's not that he's bad, it's just that a lot of new heroes have been added who are better basically. But for this faction, he is still very strong. So, and again, he's easy to recruit in the main recruitment, so you can't go wrong if you add him into the team. There are maybe better heroes, but especially if it's only for this faction, he would definitely be a good addition. Otherwise, these 3 here, Agent Spider, Atom Eve, and Red Rush, I would say are probably the next best. A small shout out to Seance Dog, not Science Dog, Seance Dog. He is very strong, but you can only get him from the GDA case files, so he's very difficult to get to a high level, I guess. He's very strong even at low levels, so you can have him in your team, but probably not worth it if you can get your other heroes higher. Going back to the other three, Agent Spider is actually very strong. He's very good at stunning the enemy and pushing them, so if you have got a team outside of just this faction with a Nissa, he pairs very well with her. But within this faction, he is still strong, but he doesn't have the best, I guess, compatibility with the other teammates. He does have an ability here. If there's any last line of defense, which is pretty much all of the Earth's Defenders faction, he increases the team's critical chance by 20% and critical damage. So, to be fair, he can pair well with Omni-Man, so that would be a good pairing. Additionally, speaking of critical damage, especially if you basically just want to build a really strong Omni-Man, if you paired him with obviously Agent Spider and then also Red Rush, if the Red Rush has this ability here, when he is fighting against attackers, which is pretty much every matchup you'll come against, he increases the critical damage from the team by 45%. And if you get that up to 15, it's 50%. So Omni-Man's critical hits, which are already doing loads of damage, would be heavily increased with having a Red Rush on your team. He's also incredibly good at just disrupting the enemy, stunning them, and also if your team, when an ally is below 30%, he grants them invincibility, which definitely helps keep them alive. So Red Rush would be a very good addition, and also Atom Eve as well is very, very strong. She's probably one of the best healers in the game. Again, the only downside is she's got the human tag against the Nissa, but if you're not against the Nissa, then if you can get her abilities up to level 10, at level 1, not very good, but level 10, she really, really does well. She shields the entire team, which also increases blue suits damage, so she's very strong, and you wouldn't be able to I guess go wrong with her as well. So any of those heroes, I would say, would work well together. Other heroes in the faction, like War Woman and Green Ghost, I would just completely ignore. They're just not very good at all. Kid Omni-Man is alright, and you might want him for the GDA case file, but otherwise I wouldn't waste your time on him. Next up, we have probably the best faction in the game, I would say, and that is From Worlds Beyond. When the game launched, there wasn't even a epic hero in this faction. I believe Battle Beast was the first one to be added, but with this team, I would say with this faction, sorry, they definitely have the strongest heroes in the game. So anyone would probably be would be good in this. I would definitely avoid. I don't even know if they're showing here. Are there any bad From Worlds Beyond characters? Lucan. I definitely wouldn't build Lucan unless your avatar shoved. But I definitely wouldn't build Lucan. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure that everyone is a very strong. There's definitely stronger heroes than others. I definitely would say Battle Beast isn't actually that strong, unfortunately. I hope they buff him in the future, but as of right now, he's quite weak. He's quite a glass cannon, so he does a lot of damage, but he dies quite quickly. Thula as well is pretty good, but there's definitely better Viltrumites in the game, and Lucan I would definitely avoid. So from this faction, I would definitely say probably the top heroes would definitely be Anissa. She is probably the best character in the game, mainly just for this passive here, which reduces the enemy's defense if there's humans on the enemy, which is pretty much every game, and also her Viltrumite allies critical damage as well at level 15, so that's incredibly strong. And if you can pair her with heroes who push the enemy, then this ability here can be triggered up to any time with every 3 seconds, so she can do loads and loads of damage. She can send enemies out of the battlefield. She's just incredibly strong, does a lot of damage, and works well in any team, but also in this faction, very good. Next up, I would definitely say would be Universa. So Universa is probably, she was definitely, at least I think, the best hero in the game. Arguably could still be. She did get a bit of a nerf recently on her ability here, tripping the light, fantastic. Even if it has been nerfed a bit, then I think she is still critical for any account, and especially for GDA ops, she is fantastic, and PvE, she's fantastic. So if you are looking to build a team within this faction, she is a must, I would say. And especially this ability here, you just want to level this up, ideally minimum level 10, otherwise 15, I would say. So they have added her totem, the Staff of Leadership, which has definitely helped bring her back the damage that she used to do, and otherwise even all of her other abilities are incredibly powerful. So yeah, Universal would definitely need to be in there. Otherwise, I would say General Krieg is a must. He is a support, and he is incredibly strong. He grants a shield to your team at the start of the battle. He increases his allies' damage, especially he works well with Viltrumites. So if you have Viltrumites on your team, which you should do, especially in this faction, he grants shields, he does damage boost for them. He also summons an extra Viltrumite to fight alongside the team, which is incredibly strong. His main ability stuns the enemies, which is great. It also pushes them, so he works well with Anissa. And when an ally is defeated, he boosts one of your allies to help kill the enemy that killed your teammate by a huge amount. So General Krieg, however you say it, is definitely a top 3, I think, for this faction. Next up, I would definitely say is Conquest. He is a tank, a defender, and he's incredibly strong and very difficult to kill, and he does a surprising amount of damage. He does require a leader on the team for this one here, where he basically deals extra damage, and for a leader in this faction, that would be General Krieg, and Anissa would count towards that. So if you have either of those, that would count towards it, even a Russ Livingston. So Conquest, I would definitely say, is a must for this faction. He's a little bit harder to acquire, same with Anissa and Krieg. Universa is quite easy to get a hold of, but yeah, Conquest I would definitely say is a must. Other than that, it really depends on who you have. Alan is very strong as a defender, and for this faction, 2 defenders probably would work. That's how I've got it, as you can see here. Alan is very difficult to kill as well, but I just would say Conquest, if you're deciding between the 2, is the defender is Conquest. Otherwise, the new addition of Nolan, he is very strong, especially with Viltrumite allies or enemies. Whenever they die, he deals extra damage, and especially if you can give him kit that increases his critical damage, just like Omni-Man, obviously, he does a huge amount of damage, and his main ability pushes enemies, so again, great for Anissa. So if you're looking at a From Worlds Beyond team here, you probably couldn't go wrong with so definitely, at least I would say, these characters here, and then maybe Nolan if you can get him. If not, Alan is very strong. A small shout out as well, which is worth mentioning, to Russ Livingston. He is not great, but he isn't that terrible. His this ability here, if you level this up to level 10, 15% lifesteal for allies when attacking humans, again pretty much every game, and invader allies receive a 35% attack increase throughout the battle. Invaders, if we have a look at the sub factions here, invaders, where the hell is invaders? A lot of this faction are invaders, as you can see, Universa, Anissa, and Conquest, and Nolan. So Russ Livingston does actually boost their attack, which can be very useful. So if you are looking to build a team, you couldn't probably actually go wrong with him in there as well. Battle Beast, again, I would stay away from it, and the others, as I mentioned before. So that would be my recommendations for that. And lastly, the criminal faction. Probably used to be the worst, or one of the worst at least, probably there with GDA, but especially with some of the newer releases has climbed to be very strong. Not maybe as strong as the others, but still pretty good. And in this, there's some definitely good options. There's some options to stay away from, and those I would definitely say as of right now would be keep Invincible. He's a new addition, but he's incredibly weak. His stats just don't work out, and unless they buff him, I would stay away from him. The newly added Machine Head is pretty weak. I would say stay away. His ability, which is this one, where he applies a confusion on the enemy team, is pretty strong, but otherwise I'd probably leave him. The Maulers used to be kind of the only team you could build for this faction, but I would say they're not worth it really, to be honest, anymore. They're not strong at all. They're good, I think, maybe for the case file, but otherwise I would stay away from them. And these rare heroes, yeah, I wouldn't. It's not worth building them. I don't think. Who you should build in this faction would definitely be probably Doc Seismic. He is probably one of the best attackers in the game. The only thing is he's got the human tag. So against Anissa he does struggle, but if you're not versing an Anissa, he is incredibly strong. His ability, this one here, where if anyone comes within melee range, he basically stuns them, does damage, and flies away to somewhere in the battle, so he's incredibly difficult to kill. He does great damage against Viltrumites. He stuns flying enemies, which is great, and his main ability does a lot of damage. So yeah, Doc Seismic is probably a must for this faction. He pairs well with Powerplex. Powerplex is pretty good. He's not fantastic, but he is good for this faction. And because this faction doesn't have too many amazing options, you couldn't go wrong with a Powerplex. Otherwise, the Lizard League is probably your next best bet. A shout out to Titan, as he is a defender. He is pretty good. He does some stuns, some damage, he gets a shield, he can sort of move around the battlefield. So he is pretty good, but he's not as good as maybe the Lizard League, starting of which is Komodo Dragon. Komodo Dragon is probably one of the best heroes in the game, surprisingly. His abilities, especially if you level them up, he, as you can see here, increases his defense by 15% for each Lizard League. So if you have the other two lizards, that's quick math, 30% extra defense. He taunts enemies, 3 enemies at the start of the battle, at the start of the wave. This one here is crazy. He at the start of the battle bounces back 25% of the damage, so 1/4 for 30 seconds, which is so long, and 25% less from critical hits. And if you get it to 15, he is immune to critical hits, which is crazy. So he's very difficult to kill. His other abilities as well, where he does damage and life leech, are very strong. So I would definitely say Komodo Dragon is a must. And again, he pairs well with the other Lizard League characters. The next best I would say is King Lizard. He is basically a ranged DPS damage dealer attacker, and he is very good just to keep in your back line and deal damage to the enemy. He isn't anything crazy, but he does a lot of damage, especially to heroes who are low health. He does his bomb, moves them around the battlefield, and again increases his team's stats with Lizard League characters. So if you pair him with Komodo and then also with Iguana, again they all work very well together. Iguana is surprisingly good, I found, in the uses I've had with her, especially against other factions, restricted factions. So she does very good life leech damage. She gets her ability cooldown reduced when she does a lot of damage and crits, I believe. And again, working with Lizard League characters, she increases life leech and attack for each member. So if you pair the 3 lizards, put a Doc Seismic in there, and then probably either a Powerplex or Titan, something along the lines, if you have a look here, remove these, of this, then you probably couldn't go wrong with something like this. Dock Seismic, you actually probably as well, quick tip, which most people know, but if you're starting the game, it is helpful, is to put him in the front line, even though he's a ranged character, because he, and I'll show you it here, because he basically, when an enemy comes in within range, he does the damage, stuns them, and flies away. If you put him in the front line at the start of the battle, they'll go towards him, and you'll basically immediately get a, as you can see, boom, he's away. You'll get a stun. In this case, it got 2 people and some damage on them, which is always helpful. So I would say if you can, place him at the start of the battle, and he'll stun them and do damage. So yeah, I would say that is probably the best team for each of them. So just to recap, if we have a look here, GDA probably want something that looks a bit like this, with these heroes here. For from Earth Defenders heroes, probably something that looks roughly like this potentially, but again, you can change them in and out. Otherwise, for From Worlds Beyond, probably something that looks like this, or this, you know, with these heroes. Viltrumites are very strong, and the more you have of them in a team, they work better as well with each other. And then for criminals, probably something along the lines of this would work well. And as of right now, that would be my recommendations. Again, new heroes are added all the time, so I can, you know, do an updated video in the future and things like this. Oh, that's quite good. I'll get those two, Invincible and Dock Seismic, in my shop. Thank you very much. Yeah, that would be my recommendations. Obviously, if you have different opinions or something else has worked for you, then leave a comment down below. And hopefully this has helped you decide who to build for your factions. And yeah, anything else? If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. It does help me out a lot. If you also want to subscribe to the channel for more, then please feel free to do that. And yeah, until next time, cheers and see you in the next one.